Hey everybody, Kerzac here again in my backyard, and today we're reviewing the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Scout Class Rollbar. Now Rollbar here is a little delivery truck looking figure. You can see he's in gray and blue with the nice little stripe going right through right here. I kind of like how that looks. And there is a very thin yellow stripe going right there. Along the back, not much to see there. You can actually see like a little bit of the robot mode. That's like the only bit of exposure you really get for this vehicle mode. And on the front, you do get some yellow headlights up here and down here. I'm not sure if these are called headlights when they're up there, but you know, up there it's the yellow. And we have blue for the grills and black for the windows, which all looks pretty nice. And he does roll very well. And yeah, we have a little bull symbol right here, and this is pretty obviously a reference to Red Bull. I mean, we have a bull symbol there, we have the black, and we have the gray, and we have the blue. This isn't an officially licensed figure. It's not actually licensed by Red Bull, so it's changed just enough to look similar. It kind of reminds me of that more recent figure from, I think it was from Age of Extinction in Japan. It's a car version of Age of Extinction, where it actually had like a figure that was like, looks like a Mountain Dew truck. So it actually reminds me a lot of that. There is a little bit of yellow spackle right there, just little extra drips of paint on mine. This right here is all painted right here, so be very careful because this will scrape off very easily. As you can see, it's done in like a metallic silver right there with the blue right there. So, and we do have a silver Autobot symbol on the front hood, so that all looks pretty good. These are pretty nice looking little truck, you know, not too much robot stuff exposed. Even along the bottom you can see his leg joints, but other than that, there's not much. You can even see like some circuitry kind of detail there, which is all very nice. My only real complaint in the vehicle mode is this little gap right here. I wish they had found a way to fill that in, but you know, a little scout class. Back in the day, this would cost you $7-8. I think with taxes it cost like around $8, so not too expensive. So acceptable for the time for how like only a couple small things on it. Transformation is pretty simple. You're going to pull this panel down slightly and then flip it out. Pull it down slightly and you can flip it out. Next you're going to come to the back. These dark blue panels, you're going to pull back a little. Pull down. They are kind of embedded in these little slots back here. And you can see that kind of forms the legs. Come around to the top and just split it open. Bring it out. You can see that's the arms, and now also exposed the rest of the robots. This is where it gets kind of interesting. This figure doesn't really have a gimmick other than the Automorph, and this is actually where it gets kind of fun. So you're going to take this back panel right here and flip it around like so. Fold in these little corner panels, and it is kind of neat because those were the corners of the actual truck. So it's not completely just shell. The shell actually gets used a little bit. Now the rest is the Automorph, and it's kind of neat. So you're going to want to grab the cab here, and I personally grab the cab and chest plate. It's just easiest for me. And you're going to want to start bending it. You can see all that start straightening up. It'll bring the legs on down, bring the chest panel up, and it'll fold this down against the back. I'll try to show all of it, but you can see it goes something like that. I'll show it from like this angle too, so you can kind of see what's going on there. Even from the front, it looks kind of neat. Like you just whoosh, you know. It's actually a really neat little Automorph. So the last thing we're going to do though, there are the little side mirrors that are sticking off the sides of the truck. They actually do act as tabs. And now I'll let you tab in his arms. Oh, they don't pop back off. You can bring arms a little bit, and there we have Rollbar in his robot mode. Straighten up the camera a little bit. There we go, get a better look at him. And he looks pretty good in this mode. He has a very Optimus look to him. From what I understand, the head sculpt actually is based on an early model of Optimus Prime from the movies, like back in 2006 or so. Like, if you look up an early model of Optimus Prime, like a much earlier model of Optimus Prime from the movies, his head does look very similar to this. And obviously, he has the yellow crest, the light blue eyes. He has the silver mouth plate, his little yellow chin. It looks strikingly similar to Optimus Prime. One thing I think is really neat about this mode is that how he changes colors. Before, his primary colors were gray and dark blue. Here we have the gray still one of the primary colors, we still have the dark blue, but now we have a mixture of a little bit more yellow, and we have teal kind of thrown in there, especially on the legs. And with the teal, he really makes me think of Transformers Cybertron Primus. Like, he looks very similar to Primus in this mode, especially with the gray and the blue and the teal. Like, it's even the yellow, even that matches Primus pretty well. So he looks almost like a small miniature Primus in a way. It is kind of neat. One thing that kind of sucks about this mode though is that there's not a lot of paint anymore. Most of the paint went to truck mode. The only paint he really gets in this mode is his face gets pretty well painted, and then there's paint behind the shoulders. I'm not sure what the purpose of this yellow paint is back here. I mean, it looks nice, this yellow paint. I'm actually glad there's a little bit extra yellow, but I wish it had gone towards maybe these little windows here, or had gone along his legs or something, because you can barely see it. You can really only see it if you're like looking at it from an angle like that. You can't see the at all with the shoulders in the way. So that's pretty unfortunate. He also doesn't have any weapons in this mode, which kind of stinks. I mean, that back in the Revenge of the Fallen, especially for the scouts, that's pretty normal. That was pretty normal, so I can't really give it too much gripe for that. But it does suck a little bit. There's no weapon or anything to pose him with, as that definitely would make his posing look a little bit more interesting. But you know, speaking of posability, head can swivel. Though mine is really tight, but it can swivel all around. No ball joint. You do get a swivel at the shoulder. It doesn't go all the way around though, it gets caught on the back, behind the arm kibble there. Oh, and the shoulder joint just popped out. That might happen if you get the shoulder stuck. It's pretty easy to fix though. See, just pops right back in. Oh, and then pops right back out. It's because his joints are so tight. This guy's been staying on the shelf for a little bit. But yeah, swivel there, you can swivel it outward like that on a little hinge. You do get a ball joint at the elbow, so you know you can do all that kind of good stuff. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. You know, it's all just because of the automorph. You do get ball joints to the legs, so you can go forward and back. You can go outward. You get ball joints to the knees. So, you know, swivel, bending, all that good stuff. Nothing at the feet. Oh, there's a hinge in there, but I'm not sure what that hinge does. It doesn't turn or anything, so yeah, I don't think he has a hinge joint there. It's just pinned there for some reason. And he does have an Autobot sigil down here instead of the one on the back, on his back on the truck mode. So yeah, that's Rollbar. If you can get past the kibble on his back, and if you're fine with the slightly unpainted robot mode, he's a pretty cool little figure. You can get him for pretty cheap too on eBay. I think you can get him for about 10 or 12 bucks. He's pretty nice for his price still. I think his automorph gimmick is really fun, and I think he's just a really cool little guy. He's got decent articulation. Like I said, my only real complaint really is the paint kind of getting wasted, you know. Yeah, I would like he would have a weapon that's more my thing than anything, but I do think it kind of sucks that he has yellow paint that just gets wasted back there. I wish I had put it like on the shoulders or on the legs or something. Oh, one last thing before we end this review. We should definitely get a comparison in. Here's Earthfry's Voyager grapple. You can see he's about 2/3 his height. And yeah, that'll end the review. So this has been Revenge of the Fallen Rollbar. I'm Kerzac, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.